Nations Cup World Champion, and the man who has won 2 races so far here today is starting on pole position. Jose Serrano, the Spaniard, 15 points the advantage he has with 24 left on the table. Can he convert it into a second Nations Cup world title? Takuma Miyazono, the outgoing champion, potentially lines up on the front row of the grid with Valerio Gallo heading the second row and Pol Ura for company alongside, who's been somewhat in the wars so far today. Kylian Drumont is in 5th position, the Frenchman, and he's joined by Takuma Sasaki in P6. Next up on the grid is Guy Barbara, the Australian, who made some good progress from where he started in that second race. He's got Adriano Carrazza for company. Then it's Kai de Bruyne lining up in 9th position, who's had a bit of a dog's day at the office so far. Ankelina Stroza completes it with P10, and the grid is rounded out by Samuel Cardinal, the Canadian driver, in 11th place. Now, of course, we have 3 different compounds of tyre, and the top 4 starting on the softs, the rest are on mediums and hards.
Yeah, I mean, expected really. We tend to see the drivers hurry up the grid, go on those soft tyres and try and break away, but the last race here of 2025, all to play for here in the Nations Cup. Jose Serrano leading the field. He'll love that. We said before, he likes leading from the front. He's proved that already today in 2 races. What must be going through his head right now? Trying to become Jose.
Absolutely, a lot of pressure on that young man's shoulders. Takuma Miyazono there in the middle of your picture as well. He would love to retain that crown, but it's going to be a fairly tall ask for the Spaniard. For the Japanese driver. Let's wait and see, with the Spaniard, of course, lining this one up on pole position. Valerio Gallo has been on great form so far this weekend as well. Let's see how the Italian can turn things around. The former Nations Cup champion himself. For one final time in 2025, we go racing as the grand final for the Nations Cup is underway. Jose Serrano leads them across the line with Miyazono, Gallo and Pol Ura for company. Into the braking zone, we see Miyazono lunging his way up the inside of Serrano. A bit too late though, and not quite enough for him to attack and take the position away, with Gallo looking for a move on the inside but not quite able to make it as well. So Serrano it is that leads from Miyazono, from Gallo as we come through the first part of the opening lap.
The car staked down through the Grand Prix version of the circuit here. Everyone just, I think, figuring out what they want to do, where they are, what their competitors' strategies are at the moment, of course. Through the hairpin at the bottom and now flat out back up the hill through the Michael Schumacher S. Easily flat in these X2019 machines, even with the dirty air here, as you then get through the last part of his GP circuit. This feels like child's play in comparison to what's coming next. The Nordschleife, the Northern Loop, where, well, really, where you become...
in this race. We're coming through onto the Nordschleife. It's a very different circuit compared to this Grand Prix layout, Jimmy, as we mentioned earlier on. It's so one line through there, one at a time. You can't really overtake, so you sort of have to get it done at this part of the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, you can overtake. There are places to do it, but the track narrows up considerably as you come onto this part of the track you can see now. And of course, the curves extremely high here. These things are glued to the ground. Touch a curve of speed, this thing's super easy just to eject yourself into the wall there. 300 km/h for braking through the section of Hasselback here. To Ura there, flirting with the curve on the right-hand side. Just the speed for here is ridiculous. It really is. But this is where one of the mild overtake opportunities here. He's come up towards Moon Patch, getting the draft. Miyazono giving the draft to Gallo, giving the draft to Ura. Serrano already 1.1 seconds on the road. Look at that. Amazing start from Jose.
Yeah, brilliant. Exactly what he was expecting to do there. Miyazono now coming under pressure here from Valerio Gallo, who's got the inside line as we go through the left hand. And Miyazono just decided not to fight that one too much at this opening stage of the race.
He actually indicated to get out of the way there. So I think maybe sensing the pace of Gallo, or just saying, I don't want to fight too much. If you're going to fight in, Paul Ura don't care. He's up into third place. Big dive from the Spaniard there. Not willing to give up on this title just yet. But Gallo now has been charged with leading or trying to get into the back of Serrano. He's come through the foxhole now. Up the top here. Through into now fourth. Really technical part of the circuit here. Really easy to spin the rear wheels in this thing, and on that soft tyre, I'm going to try and make this tyre last a couple of laps. I can't afford to spin the wheel to scrub the front tyres. It's all about precision and making sure you keep those tyres happy.
And that's the thing, is where you've got to be very careful about how you play this strategy. If you go for an aggressive one and you decide to go an extra lap, I mean, that's different if you're competing against somewhere like Spa or the circuit Gilles Villeneuve that we've seen here tonight already. But here at the Nürburgring, of course, it's a very big circuit. You can't really afford to take that gamble. You've got to be a bit more planned.
No, if you do have a mistake here, you go on the grass, there is no runoff. You just go straight into that barrier, and it's never a smooth crash at an Nürburgring. So these guys will have that in the head and come now down to the midpoint of the circuit, down towards the town of Adenau. You can just see it there in the background.
Lovely bit of currywurst on the right hand side that you can get in the restaurant.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, you learn to avoid that after a while. But up through the hill now towards Bergwerk, where Niki Lauda had his huge crash a long time ago now. But this is another spot where you can kind of use the toe up the hill and try and pull past someone. Serrano still edging that gap, 1.4 seconds now to stay on board with Miyazono. Completely flat up here. You wouldn't feel like it given the elevation, the bumps and where the car turns here. But the aero of this car forces it into the ground, keeps that tyre contacting the road and keeps it quick up here. Nearly 200 mile an hour up here. It's gone towards the curve. Is it flat out in these cars? Easily, oh my word, that's fast.
Look at Ura, he is all over the back of Valerio Gallo like a bad rash here, is he? Just trying to find his way through, but there's not really a gap to do so at the moment. That's the problem with this part of the circuit. As Jimmy said, it narrows up so much, and unless you're going to send it through on the inside, you can cost yourself more time, cost yourself a position, and maybe even pick up a penalty for your troubles as well. Through the carousel we go. You can see wider there for Ura. It's going to cost him a bit of drive on the exit of that corner, and might leave him vulnerable to attack here from Takuma Miyazono.
Yeah, really easy to sort of fall out the carousel there, and you lose a lot of time when that happens. Up the Hoak, now the highest point of the circuit, and now back downhill. But I always say it when we commentate here or watch one of these races, this last third of the track is probably the greatest stretch of racetrack in the world. The flow is just ridiculous. And in these cars, with all their aero, the corners come up sooner than you can deal with it. It's really a test of skill to get through here in these. And Gallo, you can see he likes it. The gap down to 0.8 of a second there. And that's what that looks like. So what Gallo's trying to do here is get into slipstream range before we get to... Oh, mistake from Serrano.
Yeah,
big up. So Gallo's... Oh, he gets up to the grass and trying to avoid him. He's off too. Oh, and Ura and Gallo spins. Oh, this is what I was talking about. You get onto the grass here. See Mick Hazal there reacting to that head in his hands. Oh, what a shame for Valerio Gallo, just trying to avoid the accident up ahead. But you can't just send it into the grass. This car, the grip goes away there.
Yeah, we need to see another replay of that, don't we, really, and pick the bone to it from a different angle. But the upshot is now, Paul Ura it is that leads, Serrano's into second, Miyazono's into third, so we've gone from a four-way fight down to a three-way fight, and Gallo, the big loser in all of that there, just maybe a little bit too impatient. Courtesy of the mistake that we saw being made there from Jose Serrano. The upshot is now that these three drivers, as they come onto the Döttinger Hill for the first time, are all nose to tail with one another. Ura, the driver who, of course, is got a hole being made in the air in front of him, with Jose Serrano now alongside as we go side by side with each other. Serrano back through and into the lead once again. Takuma Miyazono in third place, looking ready to try and pounce there as well. What it has done with Kylian Drumont, etc., has brought them just a little bit closer, and I wonder if later on that might prove to be a bit of a difficult time for those drivers, because of course they've just lost the time that they would have otherwise have had in their pocket towards the end of this first lap.
Yeah, a bit of fuel saving there, I think, from Europe, and Miyazono down the straight. Here's the replay. Let's try and find out what happened here. So Serrano, who's looking a bit Europe, and Miyazono down the straight. Here's the replay. Let's try and find out what happened here. So Serrano, who's looking a bit sketchy, just touched the grass on the way in. goes into the ice curve. He can't get sideways. So here comes Gallo. He tries to go around the outside, but the road falls away here as he goes onto the grass. Not the best angle there, but you can just see a bit of panic there from Serrano. That's the first crack in the armour there, I think. And there's Gallo trying to go around outside. Yeah, he knows straight away it's over. Look at that big sigh. What a shame for Valerio.
I don't know what the Italian is for old bother, but I can imagine he was saying a few of those words. Disappointment there for Valerio Gallo. Really, really good fall, a good great run from the Italian up until...
Yeah, we were saying this about there being chaos at our last race, but a reminder now of our starting order for our second go here at Daytona.
Yeah, so here is how the grid is going to line up for part two then of the first race of the weekend then for the Manufacturers' Cup. Mazda and Cardinal on pole position. Subaru and Danny Solis head the second position of the grid. Then the second row is headed by Sato in P3. Toyota with Kai de Bruin in fourth place. Then Lexus and Harold Valson line up on P5. They have got Lamborghini's Yusuke Goto. He was right at the back of the field, if you remember, the first running of this one, so opportunity knocks for them. Ferrari down in 7th place. Honda are in 8th position with Trent Jeffrey alongside them. BMW Randall Hayward in 9th position. The top 10 completed by Mercedes-AMG and Sasaki. Then you have got McLaren with Yamamoto. Let's see what progress they can make. Nissan down there, though, in 12th. Filo with a lot of work to do, considering that they were originally starting in 4th place. It has not gone well so far for Nissan. They were involved in that big crash that we saw, which brought out the red flag ultimately. So now down to 6 laps of action then, and let's see how this one is going to work out. Originally it was a 10-lap race distance, now down to 6, so slightly reduced race distance. I'm sure opportunity knocks for some of the teams and some of the drivers, but it is going to be very interesting to see how this one is going to work out. And also for Subaru there, they can thank their lucky stars really, because it did not work out at all.
No, I mean, like I say, getting sort of shunted to the back of the pack there is not ideal. But another go at it now as we roll around, rolling start as we come to the start-finish line. 6 laps at the Daytona Oval Circuit. High speeds, high risks here in the first race of the grand final of the Manufacturers' Cup. Will Team Mazda leave from the get-go? Will Team Subaru manage to not spin around this time? Let's find out.
Absolutely. There we go then. The restart is about to get underway for the first race of the Manufacturers' Cup for the 2025 GT World Finals. Mazda across the line first, with Subaru and Porsche slotting in behind in 2nd and 3rd place then, respectively. We come through and in towards the first turn. Now, we saw a lot of drivers go for the low line through the first time. They're already starting to bump draft through the first corner. And that's the problem when you get bump drafting in a situation like that through a corner. You can turn these cars around with almost your little finger because they're just on the ragged edge of adhesion. Now down the back straight. Now we'll see how effective this slipstream is proven to be. You can see Subaru and Mazda working together here, bumping one another as we come down this back straight. Is anybody going to pull out of the slipstream, go for a higher line in towards this left-hander? No opportunity moving there for Toyota. They go towards the sort of middle line of it, but you can see them moving around constantly at this point of the corner.
Yeah, it's partner looks, and this is where the drivers can very easily tense up and just make those little mistakes. But it's very, very important to try and stay in your line and keep things consistent. The moment you sort of duck out, you have to hope someone goes with you, otherwise you're left there. And there goes Team Ferrari using the side draft. Do they have help there on the outside? We can't see it at the moment. They do have hope. Team BMW, they're going to the high side, trying to push and maybe form that second lane. They've got no other choice, BMW. There's no other way they're going to get through otherwise.
So, points to the top 6, just to remind you, in this race. And in terms of the points as well, you get 6 points for the victory, all the way down to 1 point for 6th position. Now Ferrari, they go for that higher line on the outside. They've got Lamborghini on the low side then here as we come down this back straight over the timing line. And let's see how it's going to work out then. So we begin lap 3. Mazda it is that leads. Subaru are in 2nd place. Then you've got Porsche in 3rd position, followed by Toyota, followed by Lexus. Over in towards the first turn we go. You can see bumping and barging in the sort of mid to latter pack as they sneak their way through. We're not seeing anyone going 2 by 2 through these first couple of corners. Down this back straight we go though. Are we going to see positions beginning to change hands? There's not a lot of time now, of course. Original race distance 10 laps, now down to 6 laps, and we're already at the halfway stage as we're on lap 3 here. At the moment it's still Mazda, Subaru and Porsche who lead from the front.
Yeah, I mean, you have to start doing something different now and thinking about it again. All I've seen really is the team Ferrari, and then Lamborghini, they've touched Ferrari. They just went under the bottom line there. Car spins around, Ferrari out as well, no fault of their own, and then there were 10. So Ferrari, who were trying to invent something around the outside, in the end just got collected in something that was not their fault. But now Trent Jeffrey has another big one. Boys, sort it out, come on.
Not good at all there for Trent Jeffrey. He's going to be bitterly disappointed for that, as will the entire Honda team. We're 2 by 2 in the background. Now we're starting to see the action taking place. But is it enough for Mazda and Subaru? Have they broken away into a lead? Not really, because it closes up at the end of the back straight. So we come through in towards the final turn on this Daytona Oval. Now we're going to start to see Subaru beginning to pull some punches. The problem with that Subaru is it's very quick in technical corners, on technical circuits. In a straight line, not necessarily so. So they have to sit in the slipstream here at this point and hope for a bump drop there for Porsche. Across the line we go. Penultimate lap now begins. It's still Mazda that leads, Subaru in 2nd, Porsche in 3rd, points down to 6th once again. Just to remind you, at the moment it's Nissan who'll be the final point scorers.
Is anyone going to take a risk here? I mean, we've seen what's happened to Ferrari, Lamborghini and Honda. You take a risk, you get shunted. So I mean, there's nothing you can do. They're all one a turn right now. Mazda in the fortuitous position of leading that pack, but you have to think you're all just waiting. It doesn't matter where you are here, it matters where you are crossing the line and in the next lap. Right now, Mazda will be the victors, but I've got a feeling it's going to get a little bit more spicy before we get into this race.
Yeah, you get the sense that this is going to start to bubble up. What a disappointment, though, for Lamborghini and for Ferrari, especially for Ferrari with that brand new 296 car that they are competing with here this weekend. Let's hope that their 2nd and 3rd races, respectively, go quite well. We begin at the final lap of action, though, at the Daytona Tri-Oval. So, Mazda from Subaru, from Porsche, as we come down in towards the first turn for the final time. Don't think anybody's going to think about higher lines with there, but they're certainly bumping one another going through and all sticking to quite a low line. But look at Porsche, they're coming to pressure from Toyota, and I wonder if the door is starting to open for Toyota there, and whether they're going to try and pick their pocket for that final podium place to pick up more points. Down the back straight we go for one final time.
Someone's got to try something here. BMW been giving a penalty for colliding. It's bump drafting, is it not? I mean, we'll see if we get a replay of that later on, but it doesn't matter now. Final lap.
Unless it was the incident with Honda that we saw a couple of laps ago, maybe. Through the final corner we go, though. So Mazda it is that lead from Subaru, from Porsche. We'd run to the line in race 1 of the Manufacturers' Cup World Finals here, and it's going to be first blood to Mazda. Porsche in 3rd place, just behind Team Subaru. Toyota are in 4th, Lexus are 5th, and the final points position is occupied by Nissan ahead of McLaren and BMW, who managed to nick the final points place despite that 1 second penalty on the final lap of racing then here, and a great end to that one.
Bye.